Alright, so I hope everybody has had a good week so far, since Sunday, since the last time we've seen each other. So today, we're going to be going over the book of Proverbs, chapter number 4. Mr. Ricky said he had to go out of town to work, so y'all are kind of stuck with me today, it seems.
All right.
Well, thanks, sir. Will you bow your heads in prayer? Dear God, I just want to come to you right now, ask for your blessing on this service, God. I want to thank you for blessing us. We are a blessed people, God. I want to thank you for everything that you've done for us, God. I just want to pray that you would touch us with the sermon, God, and remind us, God, that we have to ponder our steps and be a thoughtful people, dear Lord. Bless this service in Jesus Christ's holy name. Amen.
Amen.
So in the book of Proverbs, chapter number 4, we're going to be going through verses number 1 through 27 tonight. 27 verses. Maybe we can get done by the time 7:30 is. But in Proverbs chapter number 4, Mr. Land, can you get that on the computer? Proverbs chapter number 4, verse number 1. It says here, O sons, the father's instruction, and be attentive that you may gain insight. So this is Solomon speaking. And it says, hear, you children, the instruction of the father, and attend to know, understand. So he said, hear my instruction. In verse number 2, it says, for I give you good doctrine, forsake not my law. So he says, forsake not my teaching. I give you good words. He says, what I'm about to tell you is good. It's good word. Have you ever heard somebody say, listen now, I'm trying to tell you something good? And this is what Solomon's saying, is listen up, I'm trying to tell you something good. It says in verse number 3, when I was a son with my father, tender, the only one in the sight of my mother, he taught me and said to me, let your heart hold fast to my words, and keep my commandments, and live. It says, get wisdom and get insight. Do not forget and do not turn away from the words of my mouth. So it says, in all that you get wisdom or get understanding, and get wisdom. I had a teacher, I actually had a principal, an assistant principal at the middle school. His name was Mr. Young. And Mr. Young, every morning on the morning announcements, he would say, and all you get wisdom and understanding. And it went into my 8th grade year that he said, Malachi, did you know that was in the Bible? And I was like, wow. So for every day of my middle school career, my middle school life, our principal used to say, get wisdom and get understanding. All you get wisdom and understanding. And that's something good that Solomon's trying to tell us is get wisdom and get understanding. It says, do not forget, neither decline from the words of my mouth. In verse number 6. It says, forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Let me get a KJV copy. Alright, it says, verse 6, it says, forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee, love her, and she shall keep thee. It says in verse number 7, wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. In verse number 8, it says, exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her. In verse number 9, it says, she shall give to thee thine head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. Verse number 10, it says, hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. So he says again, listen to me, and your life will be many days. It says in verse number 11, I have taught thee in the way of wisdom, I have led thee in the right path. When thou goest, thy steps shall not be straitened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble. It says, if you listen to the way of wisdom, your ways will be straight, and when you run, you will not fall. And it says, take thou fast of instruction, let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. And it says, get instruction. So it says, get wisdom, get understanding, and get instruction. And get this in verse number 14. It says, enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. So it says, do not go near the path of evil. It says, don't even go near it. It says, avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. It says in verse number 16, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief. This is the evil people. And their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. But the path of the just is as a shining light, that shineth more and more into the perfect day. So it says that there's a path that the just are on, and then it says there's a path of evil. And it says the way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not in what they stumble. My son, attend to my words, incline thine ear unto my sayings. Let them not depart from thine eyes, keep them in the midst of thy heart. So he's saying here, again, hear my words, and what I'm telling you is right. I need you to get wisdom and understanding and instruction, and not to go in the way of evil people. And it says, my son, attend to my words, incline thine ear to my sayings. Let them not depart from thine eyes, keep them in the midst of thy heart. For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Now, I'm getting to the good part, where I'm reading so fast, so I'm trying to get to the main part. And it says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it all the issues of life. You notice that our heart, Paul says that out of our heart comes everything in life. If we speak something bad, guess what? It was in the heart first. If we think something bad, it was in the heart. And it says, keep your heart with all diligence. And that's why it's important what we see and what we watch. We need to watch what we see and what we hear. And we need to be on constant guard, because it can go to our heart. It can cause heart problems. And once heart problems start happening, when you start getting heart problems in our life, there's some outer signs that you're getting heart problems. And just like in our spiritual life, if you're starting to have heart problems, there's going to be some outward signs, there's going to be some outward fruit that something is not right. And it says, keep thy heart with all diligence. It says, put away from thee a forward mouth and perverse lips, put far from thee. And this is the main part we'll get, verses 25 through 27. It says, let thine eyes look right on. It says, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Ponder the path of your feet, and let all thy ways be established. Turn not to the right hand nor to the left, and remove thy foot from evil. So basically what that's saying is to focus on where you're going in life. It says don't turn to the right, don't turn to the left. If you're distracted by all these things that's going on in the world, you're not going to be able to ponder. You're not going to be able to watch your steps. And so where I was getting this whole lesson from is yesterday. I was at a creek, and I was helping, some trees fell into the creek. You got this big bank that's tall, and you go down into a creek, and some very big trees fell down, and they've been there for a little while. And so we got an excavator on top of the big bank, and we had to tie chains to the excavator, tie around the big trees and the big roots and all of that, and get them out. And so I go down, and there's some riffraff, which is some rock that's just there. And so I go down, and I'm thinking, man, there's going to be a snake down here. There's going to be a snake. I'm going to step on a snake. So I'm walking down. I'm looking careful. And then all of a sudden, I was with somebody, and somebody said, whoa, 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 there goes a cottonmouth. And it went underneath the little trees that we were fixing to pull out. He said, get this. This is how I know I'm hanging around some crazy people. He said, Malachi, now I need to tie that chain around the trees. I said, the same tree that the snake just went under. And so I went up there close. I was looking. I was making sure the snake wasn't about to come out and get me. I don't like snakes. I don't like them at all. I can do spiders. I can do rats. I can do any type of animal. Just don't put me around a snake. I don't like them at all. A dead snake is a good snake. I don't care what type of snake that is. And so this snake, I was watching, and I was going up, and then so I was going down the riffraff one time, and the chain got stuck in the riffraff, and so it's a rock. And so I had to reach my hand underneath the rock, and I said, oh, here's where the snake's about to bite me. And so we're underneath this rock, and I'm going to get big, and I'm going to die. This is where I'm going to die at, right here. I'm going to die in this creek, and get bit by a snake. And so all the time I'm watching where I'm going, and this verse pops up in my head. It's crazy how God can remind you of stuff. And it says, let thine eyes look right on, and let thy eyelids look straight before thee. It says, ponder the path of thy feet. And that's exactly what I was doing. I wasn't looking to the sides of me. I was looking straight where my feet were going. But when I was putting my hands in the rock, I was looking straight where my hand was going. I was focusing. So sometimes in life we have to focus. And in Proverbs chapter number 4, it lists out in my mind 2 paths. I'm going to draw you something. And don't laugh at my drawing, because God didn't make me an artist. He gave me the ability to speak, and He gave me the ability to draw. So this is what I see when I read this. I see a road that we're all on. Here's the road. And there's two paths that you can go. The road, you can also say, is life. And there's two paths that you can go on. And these two paths lead you in two separate places. And this is some stuff that Proverbs chapter number 4 talks about. So here's this path. Let me write it right quick. Alright, so you can't read my handwriting. But, I'm telling you what it said. It said, I'm just writing it because it's a good presentation. So in this path right here, I got wisdom, insight, instruction, and uprightness. And that's all that Solomon just said here. Is that, and all you get wisdom, get instruction, get knowledge, and you walk upright. And he also says that this path right here leads to a place called life. He says, keep my commandments and live. And so what do you live? You live life. So it leads to life. And it also, Solomon actually says that it's light also. It says that it's a path of light. But on this side right here, I see in Proverbs chapter 4, Solomon says it's wickedness, evil, and violence. And he says, don't even go near that path. He said, stay on that path. And he also says that this, so the opposite of life, and the opposite of life is darkness and death. And we know from the Bible, Paul says that the wages of sin is death. And so that's what that path leads down. And that's what I see in Proverbs. I see two paths. And Solomon's saying, listen, son, he's saying, when I was a kid, my father taught me this, and I want to teach it to you. He said, there are two paths in life that you can go down. There's a path of wisdom, uprightness, knowledge, understanding. And I believe that's the way God wants us to go. It's a God-filled life. You know, in the book of Ephesians, Paul actually says that that when you were not saved, there was a path that you were going down. And you were unknown to that path, you were ignorant of it, but it was a path that leads to death. You can go back and read it in Ephesians. He says that you were alienated from God, that you had no vision where you're going. You wasn't going towards life, you wasn't going towards light. But you know, as a Christian, it's very easy to slip back into the path that God just saved us from. It's so easy to hang around the same people. It's so easy to do the same things that everybody else does. It's so easy to judge people, to gossip about people. It's so easy to curse everyone out. It's so easy when you're at the dollar store to be mean to the girl that's at the cash register, or to be mean to your waitress or waiter because they messed up your food. It's so easy to be like everybody else. And that's what Paul is saying. That's what Solomon's saying. He says, ponder the path of thy feet. It says, and let all thy ways be established. So I believe there's also two ways to live life. There's a way to live life where you're just going by day and going with the flow. Sometimes that's a good thing, you know. But also, there's a way to live life where we ponder our steps. You sit back and think, what am I doing in life? Is the steps that I'm taking leading me to the wrong path in life? Is it leading me away from God or to God? You know, Paul actually, in Peter, it says that we have an enemy, the roaring lion, 1 Peter 5:8, I believe, and that he only wants to kill us. He seeks to destroy us. As a roaring lion, he walks about seeking whom he may devour. And so it's important as Christians, it doesn't matter how many years you've been saved, how old you are, God and Satan don't care how old you are. Satan don't care how many years you've been a Christian. Satan don't care who you are, what position you hold in the church. Satan don't care. He's only out for one object, and that's to seek, to kill, and destroy you. And if you do not watch out, if you do not take Solomon's warning to ponder your feet, to watch your ways. Make your step, make every step established. Make sure you're going on the right path and not on the wrong path. If you do not start pondering your steps, then before you know it, you'll be off of this path and straight onto that. And I believe that, even Satan sometimes tries to mask it. He tries to mask the bad path to make it look like a good path. I believe it. He tries to make it look good. That's another thing Proverbs chapter number 7, I believe, talks about. Let me go there. It says, with her much fair speech, she caused him to yield, the flattering of her lips she forced him. And get this, verse number 22 of chapter number 7, it says, he goeth after her straightway, as an ox goes to the slaughter, as a fool to the correction of the stocks. And the ESV, this actually says, in verse number 23, it says, till a dart strikes through his liver, as a bird hastening to the snare, not knowing that it's for our life. The ESV, this actually talks about a deer. And it says, as a deer goes towards the slaughter and gets hit with an arrow. Just think about your deer hunting one day, right? This little Bambi walks out. Bambi doesn't know that she's about to get shot. But guess what? She gets shot. And that's the same thing with us. Sometimes, if we're not careful, we will slip into sin, we'll slip into things that we're not supposed to, and we will get shot by the darts of the devil. Now let me ask you a question. What are you going to do now that you know this? The Bible says that, guess what? The devil's coming after you, the devil wants to kill you. And I believe if you don't obey Solomon, which is in the Bible, if you don't obey Solomon, it says ponder your steps, it's called sin. I believe if you are not carefully watching your life, and carefully watching, I believe that it might just be sin if the Bible tells us to do it and we're not doing it. Anybody having disagree with that? I believe if the Bible tells us to do it, we should do it. And so as Christians, we should be on watch. We should be sober and be vigilant, because before you know it, you can just make one wrong step and get on that path and that snake will bite you. Right. All right. A good prayer to ask is, God, help me to realize where Satan's trying to get me in my life. Help me to realize that I'm in a fight, in a war, and somebody is trying to kill me. It's a great thing that we need to watch out for. So that's the song's playing.